Hello everyone, myself Sivakrishna. In this video, I am going to explain about data table activities like filter data table, for each row in data table, get row item activities in UiPath Studio. So let's get started. I have created one data table containing name, salary, address, and I have mentioned 5 rows. Basically, we will use the filter data table activity to filter the data based on the single condition or multiple conditions. So let's take a few scenarios and see how this filter data table will works. So I am taking the filter data table activity. So here we need to pass two data tables. One is for source and another one for destination. So basically in the data table section we need to pass the data table for which you wanted to apply the filter. In the filtered data table we can mention the same data table. So what will happen if you mention the same data table? So all the data will be replaced and we will have only the filtered data. So if you mention the new data table, so only the filtered data will be added. So I am going to create a separate data table here. Right, to add the filters we need to click on configure filter. So here we can add the conditions. So let's take in a scenario. I wanted to get the employee details whose salary greater than 5,000. Right, so here in the column section we need to pass the column name, salary. The name should exactly match with the data table column name. Then we need to choose the operator. So here I am selecting the greater than. In the value section we need to pass the value. So if you see here we have two radio buttons are available, keep and remove. If you enable the keep option, that means the filtered data will be saved in the DT output data. If you enable the remove option, except the filtered data, the remaining data will be saved in the DT output data. So let me show you these two options. So I am enabled the keep option, click on OK. Let's run the process and see the result in the output panel. So here I have mentioned the DT output. So here we will have a details whose salary greater than 5,000, right? So let me change this option to remove. So now this time it will show you only the employees whose salary less than or equal to 5,000. Right? So here we have another tab, output columns. So far we are extracting all the columns information. But if you wanted to extract only few columns information, like in the name, address, salary, if you wanted to extract only name, then you can mention only the name field here or multiple column names here you can mention. In the filtered data I just wanted to extract only the name and address. So here I am going to mention the column names, name, address. So in the row section I will going to change the option from remove to keep. Click on OK. Let's save, run the process. So now in the output we will have a name and address, right? And if you change this keep to remove, so except name and address, the remaining columns, that is salary, will be extracted. basically in the filter rows we can mention a number of filters. So here we can click on the plus icon, then we can mention the column name. So here I just wanted to filter the address as well. So I'm going to mention the address column name equal to Hyderabad, right? So this means I wanted to extract the employees whose salary greater than 5,000 and address should be equal to Hyderabad. So Hyderabad 15,000, so Hyderabad 34,000, right? Yeah, so far this logic is working fine. So basically the salary is of integer, so we mention the 5,000 in the numeric format, and the address exactly we mention as we mention in the data table. So if I change the salary type from integer to a string, this expression will not be work. Basically this activity will not be parse or convert the data type to the another data type. So let me show you this scenario. So I am removing the address filter. I am mentioning the same expression, but I am going to change the salary data type from integer to string. Right, so if I run the process, it will not filter any data, it will show empty, right? So because now the salary is in string format and this value will not be matched, right? In the same way, I wanted to extract the employee details who are living in Hyderabad. So here I'm going to mention address equal to, and in the value section I'm going to mention Hyderabad in capital letters. Again it is not filtering any data because both are not in the same format. So here we have a one format and in the filter we have another format, right? So this way the filter data table will not be convert the data into the another format and it won't pass the data from one form another format, right? For each row in data table, if we want to iterate the data table data, we can use the for each row in data table. So in the data table section we need to pass the data table variable. So in the current row basically we will have a iterating row information. So if you want you can create the index. So here I'm creating the index. So let me log the index value. Basically the index value will start from 0. So if I run this process, so it will log the index value from 0. So 0 to 4, right? Get row item. Basically we will use this get row item to extract the column information. So here we need to pass the row value, the current row. Then we need to select the number or name. So here basically we can pass the index of the column or name of the column name. So here I'm selecting the name and then I'm mentioning the name of the column as name. Then we can create a variable str name. Then I'm going to log this value. So if I run this process, for each row it will log the name of the employee. So it will extracted all the names from the data table. Basically, get row item we can use inside the for each row in data table or outside the for each row in data table. Let's see how we can use this get row item outside the for each. So here my requirement is to get the third row salary. So here I am going to mention the expression as dt dot row. Third row means second, that is the row, and in the column I am selecting the name and I am going to select the name of the column name as salary. So I am going to create a variable str salary. Then I am going to take one log message. Str salary. So 5,000. So basically without using the get row activity also we can get these details. So let me show you that. So I am removing the get row item. So here in the salary I am directly passing the expression dt dot row second and then salary dot toString. So with this expression also we will get the columns information. 5,000. So here inside the for each also we don't need to use the get row item. So directly using the current row object we can get the columns information, right? So let me take one log message here. So here I am going to log all the values name, address and salary. So current row of name dot toString. I am mentioning this operator as pipe. Current row salary dot toString separator pipe current row address dot toString. Right, click on save and let me remove the breakpoint here. So these are the details, right? This way we can work with filter data table activity for each row in data table activity and get row item activity. Hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.